Good morning. My name is Doug Lobel, and once a month the staff here and administration allowed me to do the Citrus Today show and invite guests that I would like to have the audience be aware of and the things that they're involved with. And today we have some really good guests, going to be very interesting. We're going to talk about a subject near and dear to many, many hearts, which is anti-bullying. We have David Vandevelde who is with us, and Melissa, I didn't catch your last name.
Brady.
Well, thank you, and thank you for being here.
Of course.
I'm going to kind of get right into it. I serve, by the way, as the chairman of the Interact clubs for the district, district. So that's 47 clubs. So that's why I'm helping to introduce your anti-bullying program, because David is a Leesburg Rotarian. Dave kind of developed this anti-bullying program. He introduced it through Leesburg High School. Melissa has been very involved in that. And now she's really come on board to be kind of the spokesman, the youth spokesman for the program as it grows throughout hopefully the state and the country at some point in time. And we'll talk a little bit about the fact that you're going to go to Hamburg, Germany. But why don't we start out by just explaining to our audience, and many of them have grandchildren or children that are experience bullying, and so this has got to be something they'd be interested in. And David, why don't you start out however you want, explaining how this program works.
Our pilot school is the Leesburg High School, and I have been active in that school for some years, and we concluded that there was a bullying program that really had to be implemented, because right now we take care of bullying problems after the fact, and we came up with a bullying program before it happens, and that was based on making the silent majority, most students don't want to bully, make them visible, because we do not know who they are. And so we designed a program that we make the silent majority a visible majority. And we do that through a program with pledge cards on the backpacks. So when you see students go to school and they wear this card on their backpack, we know that our students that don't want to be involved in bullying.
How does that accomplish that?
Well, there is a program that we have clubs in the schools, and I call them campus clubs. For example, Rotary has an Interact club. There are sports clubs. There is another club called Skill USA, National Honor Society. There are many clubs. I think that in Leesburg we have something like 40 different clubs in the school.
Yeah, chess clubs, key clubs, I mean, there's a lot of clubs.
And they operate after school hours, and they are independent. Now, if each of these clubs gets involved with our program, the members of that club then will get one of these cards from the teachers, and they will talk about the bully pledge. And the bully pledge then is signing your name on this card with 3 witnesses, which can be your friends. And if you sign that and your friends are witnesses that you signed and said, I will not bully and I will do whatever I can to stop bullying, then they hang that on the backpack. Young people want to be rewarded, and they say, what's in it for me? 16, 17 years old, what's in it for them? We're going to put the picture that they take of themselves, a selfie, and they all have phones with selfie capabilities, and so they take this picture of themselves and the friend, and that goes on a space rocket next year into space, so that they can say, me and my friends were up in space. Well, why is that so important? Because if the person or one of the witnesses wants to bully anyway, his friends, peer pressure, say, come on, my name is on that same tag as that we signed, so don't bully because my name is involved. And now we have peer pressure that says don't bully, which is very important, because most cyberbullying, it's about 90% of bullying is cyberbullying. Now the friends who know everything, in their opinion, the parents do not know all that much, but the friends and themselves, they know everything. They control each other. My friends know everything. Whatever I do, my friends know. So through this cyberbullying, we have an influence in what happens at home, where a student can do whatever they want. Nobody knows. Now there's an outside, through the friends, pressure, don't bully. And we have seen that. Bullying is down. But the fun thing is, school attendance is up, because the students feel that school is more safe than before.
So Melissa, you're actually a student at Leesburg.
Yes.
And you're very involved with this program. When you talk to the other students, they're excited about it?
Yes. One thing that I did want to point out that's very important about these cards is that it's clearly a visible representation of choosing not to bully, making that choice and standing up for what you believe in. So along with that, if kids ever are nervous at school, say they're being bullied or they're going through something that isn't necessarily easy, which plenty of teenagers have their issues. If you see this card on someone's backpack, it kind of lets them know that they are a safe person to talk to about whatever issues you may have, instead of keeping it all inside, which is very important to learn how to handle with those emotions and talk about them, especially at our age.
Very good. David, you said something about going into space. How does that all work?
Well, I used to be in the space business at one time in my life, and I still have connections there, and we decided that for the students, for them to get really interested, you have to be out of the box. You have to do something that has never been done before. So right now, I arranged to be on a space rocket next year, and everything is digital because you cannot put big photos or big flags, etc. Maybe a Tesla automobile was possible, but we couldn't afford that. So it goes on chips, and we hope in about 3 years to have a canister land on the moon. So then your name is forever on the moon in your picture. So this program is expanding, but this is one of the basics of the flag. Every club at the school will get a flag, and we'll get all these backpack tags, which the kids really love to sign and carry.
Great. We have a lot of other paraphernalia here, and we're going to discuss all that. We're going to discuss a little bit about how you're going to get to Germany when we come back, but we have to take a station break and make the money to keep us on the air. So if you'll stick around, we're going to be right back with you in just a few minutes. Welcome back. We're going to be talking with David and with Melissa, and David's kind of explained the basis of this program and how it works. Melissa's going to talk about some of the details. One of the things that interests me is, okay, I signed the card and all that, but how do you keep my interest? And as we know, teenagers kind of focused on lots of different stuff. So why don't you explain some of the, first of all, it's a fundraiser for your Interact Club.
Yes.
And any of the other clubs. How does that work?
One thing that you just stated is clearly very important about teenagers is that you can have them do something, but if they're not constantly reminded of it, they won't necessarily be adamant about it.
Like cleaning your room?
Right, that's a perfect example. We have to get told several times before we actually decide, okay, maybe it's about time I decide to do that. So, first thing I want to mention is that every month we try to do something new for the kids, and the most important part about this program for me personally is making sure that it's from the students to the students, because that's the only way it's going to get any real impact.
And that takes the administration's blessings.
Yes, and we've been very lucky at Leesburg High School to have really supportive administration, and I hope other schools will be that supportive.
Well, in Citrus County, just so you know, the superintendent of schools has blessed this program. The
That's
chairman of the school board has seen it and blessed the program, so we have license to go in all the schools in
That's
Thompson.
really cool. Well, each school can make the program their own, and the students get to decide what they want, which parts of the program will be most effective for them. But at Leesburg High School, we realized that one of the biggest things are all of our buttons. As you see, we have a array of them here, but each month we do a different button, and according to whether different clubs want to switch it up, they do some sort of button that just talks about not bullying. So for example, I'm also in Skills USA. It's one of our clubs, and it's about leadership qualities and whatnot and preparing you for the real world, and we have a button that says champions aren't bullies. Just little things like that that remind you bullying is not cool to do. So let's see, along with that, we have our wristbands that come out, a ton of them. Don't bully at Leesburg High School. All of our administration are wearing them along with students. Everyone loves them. And let's see, our fundraiser part. So a big part of this program is you have to fund the buttons and the wristbands. You can't get the money out of thin air. It's reality. So another important reason that we do the fundraiser is so that the kids feel like they're putting in this hard work, that they earned this, and it gives them a sense of value and worthiness and importance. So on this sheet here, we will have 80 signatures that go around, and you can sell the signatures for donations. You can do $10 a pop, $5 a pop, whatever the kids would prefer. And you can switch it up if you want to go to a company and they buy a whole flag, or they buy a little business card, or whatever the case may be. And this will ultimately go along with our pictures in the space rocket to outer space. So of course, that's a big seller. You know, you want to take me out of space.
Parents are going to support it, and if it happens to be the football team that's doing it,
the athletic homecoming game, they collected $700 for the club.
Right.
On signatures and
the
donations.
students decide what to do with that money? Is that?
Yeah.
Yes. So a portion of it has to go back to clearly making the buttons and whatnot and supporting the program. But the majority of it, the students get to do whatever they would like to if they want to use it in their community. And a big way that we get these signatures, like profit from it anyways, is we ask people to sponsor us in this program. We say, can you sponsor us by buying 2 signatures or buying a flag and sponsor our school and pledging not to bully? And that's generally how we're able to get our funds for it.
So you say a flag. Obviously there's a flag there, a banner. And then that would go on the back of, or side by side?
Next to each other.
And that could be displayed, I guess, in the school somewhere if they have administration.
Or in the classrooms, yes.
Yeah. So that's how you get a lot of support. And what are the yellow wristband?
That if there are certain events going on, then we make these type of wristbands for that event that everybody is saying,
but that
don't
is
bully.
just an example of something that we can do. One of the reasons that I've been so active in this program is because I want to make sure that it's really something from the kids. So these are all different ideas that kids have come up with, and along with that, each month they can decide to do different things, like different fundraisers or whatever the case may be. Like at my school, we are in the rough thinking about a cupcake program. And so what we'll do is we'll make a bunch of cupcakes, and you'll take one and bring it to a friend, or make a friend and say, here's a cupcake. My name is Melissa, what's your name? And so then you bring them back, and you introduce them to whoever's giving out the cupcakes, and you both get little pins that say friendship is sweet, and you get another cupcake. Just little things like that. And if the kids go through and put in the work for that, it'll help them focus on a lot more positive things than other kids will do nowadays.
The cupcake. Yeah,
that's a
cool.
cupcake button.
Yes. See, and the kids can design the buttons if they want. They can make it their own. Like, for example, we actually had a joke about the buttons for a while because they made this really serious I pledge not to bully button, and I was telling them, realistically, kids might not want to wear that. I was like, why don't you just do something like bullying is lame? Kids would wear something like that. And they actually put that on a button.
But David told me he didn't understand that. What is lame? What's that all
That's
about?
just something we say nowadays. And now it's like every day I go to school, I see the buttons that I came up with everywhere. So it's really cool.
One of the important things is going to be support. All of this, somebody has to make this stuff. How does that?
We make that.
Okay, so Flags
The
Across
buttons
America.
are designed by the students.
Right.
Any other programs are designed. We're going to have removable tattoos. They can be designed by the students, and then we hand them out for a certain program.
So Flags Across America, which is a registered nonprofit? Or
No, it's a C corporation.
it's a C corporation. But
Because
the
we
intent, the
manufacture-
intent is not to make money off of these
Right.
items. It has to be a C corporation because of how it can be introduced to the school system.
That's correct.
and
That's
Things
correct.
like that, but it's not to make money, so.
No, of course not. And I'm very active with them to make sure that it stays on track and gets the message across and
Good.
make the impact that we want to.
Well, it's a very exciting program. I was talking yesterday to the teacher liaison for Interact at Crystal River High School, and we're going to try to set up a meeting over there, which she's excited about.
Cool.
But I want to thank you for coming on the program. I know you came all the way from the villages in Leesburg, coming over today and introducing this to our guests. And if we have anybody that wants to call and talk to me about it, the station here can give you my number. But I think this is fantastic. It's important that we deal with bullying. It's one of the biggest problems we have. I want to thank you, David, and I want to thank you, Melissa, and thank you, Ira, who's out there taking pictures. We'll see you next time. Be sure to rejoin us.